And this is the cocoon, like I say. You know, it's like real science goes on in there. Do you know what I mean? It's like proper science stuff. And like I say, when you walk down the things, right, I love it, absolutely love it. You know? I love science. I really do, absolutely love it. It's amazing. The stuff we figure out, the stuff we learn. Hi folks. Okay, so basically, what to do, one last video quickly, and basically, like I say, I've just uploaded a bunch of videos because I was out and about today at the museums, you know, the Science Museum and what have you, the Natural History Museum, and presumably you'll get to see this particular video. What I wanted to say about this video was that as I have done a couple of other videos of that place. I'm positive I did. I'm going to look for them actually. I haven't looked for them yet, but I'm going to check because I've got over nearly, what have I got? 840 odd videos now, and I can't remember exactly. I think it was about 2 years ago. Might have been a bit more than that. I can't quite remember. Anyway, and that little window place where I was showing you the little microphone, you can speak to the scientist. There was a bunch of people in that room at the time on that day. And there was a guy or a couple of people in lab coats outside of it where the microphone thing is, with a group of what looked like students, possibly youngsters anyway, whatever. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, they actually had some company logo on the back of their lab coats, if I remember rightly. But anyway, so the thing is that, like I say in this video, and I did mention it in the other one, that I think it's a really clever idea, really clever what they've done there, because the thing is, like I say, you know museums back in back in my time when I was a kid, going back many years now, back in the 70s or whatever, that, you know, the thing is that museums were really boring, stuffy old places, you know what I mean, with dusty old cabinets full of, like, you know, specimens or whatever and whatever. And excuse me. So you know, you can imagine that the appeal wasn't, you know, for some, yeah, you know, I mean, I like museums anyway. I mean, I can't remember if I liked them as a kid so much. Maybe I did, but they didn't go to that many. Think again, it's about opportunities and what have you, sort of thing. And like I mentioned in that video, I would have loved to have had the opportunity to actually do science in school, but we didn't actually get that chance, because we did a couple of biology classes and a couple of something else, and I can't remember what it was exactly. But you see, it was all centered around the fact that, like, I was put in the class because I've got dyslexia and because I was considered not very bright, and what have you, sort of thing. So I was put in one of the lower classes. The classes in terms of level of the students, I don't know whether they class it by IQ, intelligence, whatever, I don't know how they classified it back then anyway. So, but the classes were named after the letters of my school, which was Central High. Well, use the central bit. So C-E-N and T, they were like the brainy kids. All the brainy kids went into those classes. So all the kids with really high IQs, high marks, you know, and all this sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? All those kind of kids went into those classes. And I was in A class, which is, so you've got C-E-N-T-R-A-L. So I was in A, so I wasn't in the lowest class of all, which was the, you know, the class L was like where all the kids that had a lot of learning difficulties for whatever reason, do you know what I mean, or just whatever I don't know. Again, I'm not sure what the criteria, how they actually, how they did that system. I don't know, to be quite honest. But anyway, the point is, or the point being that because I was in one of the low classes, it was never seen as a priority, I guess. It was never seen as something that they want to spend time and money on trying to teach kids like myself who have learning difficulties or whatever, blah blah, because like I say, I did dyslexia, but it wasn't diagnosed back then. But for whatever reason, they thought, and this is just assumptions, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly. I can only go by the fact that one, we did very little science, if any, throughout the whole of my school life at the Central High. And like I say, it was only until we got into the upper school, the school was divided into two separate sites, and the lower school was where you were from 11 years till you were 12, and then you moved to the upper school, so whether it's from 12, or was it 12, 11 till, anyway, I can't remember exactly. God blimey, I'm talking about the 70s, we're crying out loud. I'm going back a hell of a lot. Anyway, suffice to say that the last 3 or 4 years of my school life was at the upper school, and that was the only chance and time that we got the opportunity to do. And like I say, that was a biology class, and that was just like, when you get the eggs and they open the egg up and it's got a little bit of blood in the egg because it's been fertilised and that bit I remember. But other than that, we didn't do any science. It was focused on reading, writing, arithmetic, or whatever sort of thing. So unlike the other kids in the higher classes who got to do lots of science classes, because we had fully equipped science sort of classrooms and what have you, know what I mean? With the Bunsen burners and the equipment and all this lot and blah blah blah. But as I said, we very rarely got the chance to go in there or actually do any lessons or stuff around it. So I guess my interest at that point as a child was never, was never engaged in that sense. And it's only years later, I guess. And like I said in the video, yes, people could turn around and say, well, you could always go back to college, or you could always do whatever, blah blah blah. Yes, maybe you're right, but I don't know. They reckon that as soon as you get to a certain age, anyway, you're fixed in a. Yes, you can learn new stuff. Of course you can. And it's not impossible, I know. But I'm 50 years of age. How long is it going to train? How long is it going to take me to train? And what particular branch of science would I then decide to study in, and all the rest of it, and blah 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 blah. Actually, I think I do know which one branch of science I would love to go into, and that would be particle physics, quantum physics even. I'd love to be a quantum physicist, and physics in general. Do you know what I mean? That would be the sort of area that I would definitely. But the trouble is, I just don't think I don't think I've got the brains for it. To be quite honest, I really don't. I don't think I've got enough nous or intelligence, whatever. But regardless, I would still love to have had the chance. The opportunity to actually do science at school. I would have loved it. I know I would have. Because it fascinates the heck out of me, and like I say, and particularly, like I just mentioned, quantum physics. Quantum physics just blows my mind. When you start listening and watching some of these things, these programs about it and stuff like that, and you hear how they talk about the subatomic particles and how they behave, and how the laws of physics break down when you get down to those really small quantum levels, and things start behaving in very weird and wonderful ways, and I love it. Absolutely love it. It just completely blows my mind, but in a really good way. Do you know what I mean? Because it just, I'm like, wow, what? Hey, what? How's that work? Wow. And it just fires my imagination. It just really fires it. So I love all that. You know what I mean? But I love science in general, all the sciences. You know what I mean? I love the fact that human beings have got that capacity and that ability to look into things, you know what I mean, try to understand it and grasp it, and and people like Albert Einstein, like I say. In fact, that's just reminded me actually I was just reminding myself. There's a video I've not put up yet because it's only 30 seconds long. Because it was when I was near the space part of the Science Museum, and there's a little sort of display, little alcove, little what's the name of all to do with Albert Einstein, and he's one of my all-time favourites. Just because of who he was and the fact that he was so brilliant and he came up with that amazing equation and so forth and what have you and blah blah blah, but also because he's the stereotypical image of the mad professor, isn't he, with the hair going all over the place, and he just seems to be a bit of a character if you learn a little bit about him. And I've seen a couple of documentaries about his early life and so on and so forth, and the fact that he was a patent clerk in, was it Zurich? I can't remember what. Anyway, wherever the heck it was, can't quite remember off the top of my head. But you know, the thing is that just as a character as well, just as a person, as a human being, intrigues me. Do you know what I mean? He just fascinates the heck out of me. And I just love all that sort of stuff and what have you, and the fact that he's just such a deep thinker. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like I say, that little video, I might tag on to the end of this perhaps, since I'm talking about Einstein right now. I think I might tag that on the end of this, or I'll put it up just as it is, but it's only 30 seconds long, like I say, because I was so conscious of filming in that area, because like I said, the thing is that it's very dark in there, but also the thing is that like it's full of school children. They're running all over the place, you know what I mean, and all different ages and sizes and all the rest of it sort of thing. And the thing is that obviously I try to avoid as much as possible as filming individuals or people as much as possible. Obviously it's not always possible because sometimes it's really difficult because people are just all over the place. But you know, so I do try to not deliberately get people in my shot if I can help it. Do you know what I mean? If it's humanly possible. So the thing is, and also you got the security people walking around there, and sometimes because it's so dark you can't tell who's who. I didn't really want to, but I'm definitely going to do it at some point. I am definitely going to go in there because I want to show you guys that space exhibition because I think it's awesome. I really love it, really love it. Because that's another thing. I mean, that's another area of science that I would love to have gotten into, is the space sciences. You know what I mean? Sort of astrophysicist even, or whatever, I don't know, do you know what I mean, something on those lines, something, because all that stuff just really fires my imagination at all. But anyway, the thing is that, like I say, today I was kind of a little bit overcautious about it because I'm thinking like, and there was a security lady right just around the corner from that little alcove where I was with the Einstein exhibit thing, and I kind of just wanted to carry on filming and just walk out there and just then show you guys the lunar lander and all the rest of it sort of thing. There's a big huge rocket hanging from the ceiling. I don't know what kind of rocket it is, but it's big. I mean, it's not, you know, compared to sort of like Saturn V rocket, it's tiny, but I mean, you know, for that it's big. But anyway, the thing is that you know, they just, yeah, like I say, I had to be really cautious about it because like she's right around the corner and I was going to go straight out there, straight with the camera, and just get on with it sort of thing. But I just know that they would, because like, I've tried to do it before, I've tried to film in there before, and they have kind of said like, oh right, no, sorry, you can't film in there. And you know, maybe, fair enough, you know what I mean, you can't film in there for whatever reason, blah blah blah. But I just want to show you guys, I want to show you this stuff, it's so awesome. Do you know what I mean? It really is, it's absolutely mind-blowing stuff. You know, a place I would love to go, I'm not a big fan of America necessarily, sorry to my American cousins over there, but it's not so much you as an individual person or whatever, it's more to do with your politics and especially what's going on with your politics at the moment. But anyway, again, that's an area I don't necessarily want to get into right now. But if there is somewhere I would love to go, is Cape Canaveral. Cape Canaveral. You know, Kennedy Space Center and all that. God blimey, I can't get my words out now. You know, I'd love to go there. The Vehicle Assembly Building, I would love to see that. Oh man, I mean it's the the biggest. What do they say? It's the biggest single story, and is it by volume the biggest building in the whole world, and the biggest single story building in the whole world. It's a huge. I would love to just stand next to it and just, oh, do you know what I mean? But then obviously see all the other stuff and the space shuttle and all that. Oh man, I would love to be an astronaut. I would love to go into space. I would love it. Absolutely love to travel in space, even if it's just round the Earth or whatever sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? But I would love to go out there and just see it and see the Earth from, from out, from an astronaut's point perspective. You know what I mean? Like when they see it. Supposedly it's quite an experience. It's supposed to be quite humbling, quite. In fact, I've heard astronauts describe it almost in spiritual terms. It's a very spiritual experience to see your planet, the place you live, in such a way, to see it from that perspective. I'd love to see that. Excuse me. Anyway, so before this video gets very much longer, I'll leave the video here for now. And I think I will tag on the Albert Einstein exhibit thing. Again, it's a bit rushed, so I have to apologise for the videos today. They have been a bit rushed. In fact, a lot of my videos just lately have been really rushed. I keep meaning to try and slow myself down. I've got to try and start slowing myself down, taking longer over things. Because I've noticed when I play them back, you know what I mean, it's kind of all over the place, and it gets blurry as I swing the camera one way and swing it another way and so on, and it gets all blurry, and it's, in fact sometimes I think I watch it, I get a bit nauseated. I'm like, whoa, kind of thing, do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to be more mindful about slowing myself down, slowing it down, taking my time, pacing myself. And something else I've noticed in a few of my videos, recent videos, is I need to look into the screen more. I need to keep an eye on the screen rather than looking ahead of me and looking around. And this is what I'm doing. There's the camera in my hand, and I'm giving it all this, looking over here, looking there, looking here, giving it all this. I need to keep my eye on that screen more, because I noticed on a few occasions when I've been talking about something and I'm telling you guys something, I'm not actually on the object I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So I can imagine you guys are going like, what? I can't see it. What is it? What? No, lift it up a bit. Lift it up. I can imagine people doing that. Because I've noticed, instead of aiming the camera directly on the object I'm talking about or whatever, I've got it down here somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And I think I'm looking directly at it with the camera. But because I'm looking at it with my eyes, I'm assuming that the camera's also seeing what I'm seeing up here. Which obviously isn't the case, because I've noticed on a few occasions, I can't remember which video specifically now, but I know it's happened on a couple of occasions where I've been filming something, I've been talking about something, and instead of being actually on the object, I'm slightly below it, or slightly above it, whatever. So, I'm going to have to watch the screen more. You know what I mean? So look at the screen more, look at exactly what I'm shooting. Do you know what I mean? Look exactly what I'm filming. So like I said, these are things I need to take on board and learn and try to practice and do more of, because like I say, I am a bit too quick, and so apologies for the fact that it's really quick, but also that was partly because I expected any minute some security person to tap me on the shoulder and say, sorry sir, you can't film with it. So I guess that's kind of another reason why I was rushing and what have you, sort of thing. Anyway, so even though the Albert Einstein thing is short, I'm going to put it on this. Hope you enjoy it. I absolutely loved it. So I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and see you soon. Bye for now. Guess what, guys? With my favourite, all-time favourite scientist. Yeah. Awesome. I love this guy. He's one of my heroes. Old, Einstein. Yay! Hello, Albert. Right. Okay. Short and sweet. Like I said. You see, this is the science. Sorry, space part. So I'll show you in a minute.